Well, once again, there are certain parallels, but there are also certain very important differences. I don't think it's correct to see anarchism as a version of liberalism, but nevertheless, anarchism has certain, bears certain similarities to it, particularly in terms of the emphasis on freedom, on individual freedom, which has always been one of the central values or core values of classical liberalism. But I think the main difference lies in the fact that even though classical liberalism values well, actually there's two differences. The first is that even though classical liberalism values the individual and individual freedom, it always sees the state as a condition for preserving individual freedom. So classical liberalism is usually based on sort of contractarian theory, whereby we in the state of nature give up or sacrifice our natural rights and freedoms, and we inaugurate a sovereign who establishes a system of law and order which is designed to protect my freedom from the freedom and the desires of other people. So the point is that it's always freedom within certain limits. It's always freedom which is sort of guaranteed and secured by the state. But the problem with that is that, to some degree, it's a logical contradiction, because if you have freedom which is secured by the state, then the logic of securitization often works against freedom. And of course we're seeing this now, aren't we, with the the securitization of the neoliberal state. So I think anarchism obviously anarchism claims that individual freedom can only be guaranteed in the absence of the state, rather than through the state. The other major difference, of course, is that classical liberalism is based upon notions of private property and the capitalist free market, which anarchists see as actually working against individual freedom, because private property and capitalism only offers you a very sort of narrow conception of freedom. It's only freedom for property owners. It's only the type of consumerist freedom or the freedom of exchange in the marketplace. And it only enshrines the rights to exploitation, which of course works against the freedom and autonomy of the majority of people. So let's say that even though there's certain parallels between classical liberalism and anarchism, in terms of the emphasis on individual freedom and the sort of the suspicion of the state, anarchism wants to see individual freedom in the absence of the state and in the absence of capitalism and the institution of private property.